Nice to have a full complement of defensemen going into tonight's game.
Yeah, for sure it is. In saying that, those guys that have been out have to get right back in. It's a hard thing to do in the NHL is to get your groove back, so we'll ease them in appropriately. But, the other guys have been in long enough now, Ronnie and DeMillo, where they're getting their stride back.
Is there any other update on Nick Paul in terms of maybe a timeline?
I don't know the exact timeline. I'm thinking longer than a month. He's high ankle or whatever, and those are real nagging, so you don't know, when the guy's going to be 100%. But for the foreseeable future, he won't be playing.
Talking about Nick Paul, it seems that he had a tough time getting a crack at this team in the past. It seems that with you, it sort of clicked. What do you like about his game to make him a Senator on a regular basis?
One, and sometimes the advantage goes to the player when you've seen the guy play at his best before. I've seen him in junior hockey, the way he played, and I know what he's capable of. Also, he came in camp, number one conditioned athlete on our team. And then in training camp, I thought he maybe tried to be someone, maybe he's not, and maybe I was thinking that way. But then, once we simplified it for him and let him know what kind of player we're looking for. He does exactly what we ask every single day. Comes to the rink with energy. For me, he's done a real nice job of getting in the league. Now he's got to stay here.
Now you have a kid that's coming in the league, talking about a guy that's about the same style, a tough kid, who works the corners, he goes in front of the net, and Brady Tkachuk. Right now, his game is, he's trying to get in the game like the old-fashioned way, getting tough, getting space for himself. Now is it time for him to get a little more concentrated on trying to attack the net instead of attacking the bodies around the net?
Well, yeah, there's a fine line there. I mean, as a young kid, you want to make room for yourself. Also, he plays on the edge every single night. But in saying that, he's so strong. I think he's getting a lot better with his stick lifts. I think he's getting better around the net. I think, when you talk about some of the best scorers in the league, they're guys that can steal the puck, in transition. You got Bergeron, Marchand, you got Stone that was here is arguably one of the best sticks in the game. And I think Brady can get that. I think Brady's getting a lot better at that. In saying that he can't lose sight of what he is. He's big, he's strong, and he's got to back some people off early in the game, especially on the forecheck, to give more room. And he'll earn that blue line, and he'll earn that room in front of the net over time, and then he'll just keep getting better and better with his touch around the net, and that'll allow him to score.
It's easy to forget how young Brady is sometimes.
Yeah, it is. You forget. I mean, he could be an overage, I think, in junior hockey right now, and that's hard to believe how big and how strong he is. And he's got a lot of will, and he wants to do everything right now, and that's a great thing. But it's a process for us and a process for him. I know going into the year, the goal is to make sure he's a better player at the end of the year, and I think he's well on his way to doing that. Last year I would say playing with some of those Duchesne and Stone and those guys, they'd be able to carry a lot of the play for him and get him the puck. He's got to work a lot harder to get the puck this year. And in time, the players around him and everyone will continue to get better, and that'll go back to that. But I think he's done a real nice job of leading us emotionally a lot of nights.
Do you want to see tonight in 3 games before you break?
Well, our last 2 games, I think we had as we know, we had a real lull there when we had some guys out, whether it be the defensive route or we had what I thought was maybe some average nights in net. And I think everyone here, the last 2 games, and you can tell in our practices since Detroit that we've practiced a lot harder with a lot more purpose. We played hard against Detroit, played real hard against Montreal. I think I was watching the Montreal game last night, and they were saying how they have outshot almost every team they've played. I think we're the first team to outshoot them in a while. And we're playing hard, and that's all I can ask of our guys. We got a lot of young guys in our lineup. We're going to continue to play hard, and we're going to play hard tonight.
What kind of issues do the Blackhawks present? They won their last game against Anaheim. What do you have to worry about in the playoff?
Kane, Taves, Keith. I coached against Kane in junior. He looks like the same player. He's still dominant. Every time he has the puck, he's a dominant force in this league. He can make plays off the rush. He can make plays in the ozone. He can make plays on the power play. So it's good to see what the elite players are like. There's a few in the league, maybe 10 or 12 of these elite offensive players, and he's one of them.
And you've probably been asked this before, but you talked about coaching in junior. Did you have any coaches that you kind of, mirrored their style or big influences in your coaching philosophy?
I've said it before. Paul Gillis, I had in junior, was a pro, and he talked to you more as a person, and then coached you second. And I just found with me that really resonated. I think and it just made you want to play that much harder. Coach has to be able to push you every day, and I think the player has to trust you in order. For you to be able to push him real hard, I think the player has to trust you deep inside, and I think you have to get that relationship first.
What has Marcus Holbrook done to get the third start?
Well, I mean, you ultimately have to look at the quality of chances, but just look at save percentage. I think if you look at a save percentage after a guy plays, or look at his body of work and look at his save percentage, in this league, in order to win games, the goalie has to be usually above 9-10 to win the game. And, Hoggy's done a nice job coming in the last two games. He did a real good job in Washington to come in, freezing cold in a game that, was out of reach. He came right in and made some unbelievable saves and just told me that, he wants the net. So we're going to continue to give it to him and see what he's got. We think he's a real good goalie, but this is a hard league, and he'll get a chance to prove himself tonight.
And aside from his record, has he surprised you at all with what he's been able to do? Obviously, he wasn't scheduled to be a starter here with Nielsen not been being hurt, but has he surprised you at all?
I think the biggest thing, I think you always wonder what's down there, and can they come up and do the job. But I can say that Pierre and the scouting staff really believed in him and said this is a guy that's going to be here. And we had two good guys in the net in front of him, so that had him in Belleville. But I can say that our scouts and management had told me that this is a guy that can be an NHL goalie. And now you have to come up and prove it. It's one of the hardest things. Like I said, I've talked about it before with Curtis McElhinney. He told me how hard it is to be a starter in the National Hockey League. And this is a guy that's been doing it a long time. So it's a hard thing, but I think he's proven it down there in the American Hockey League. Now he's got to prove it here.